So I'm gonna list about 8 things I think this new Virtua Fighter will need to hang with the big boys, to take back its crown, to be successful. Again, things I would input. Now, of course, we can tick 2 of these things off the boxes already because we already seen them in the trailer. First thing, the graphics. From what we have seen from these trailers, they've definitely upgraded them and they've now gone for a more realistic look. There's incredible detail in this trailer, in the backgrounds. Everything looks smooth and it looks clean. So we have no issues with the graphics so far, no need to touch on that, they look great. Another thing people complained about was the sound effects. Again, Virtua Fighter is old. It gives you a 90s vibe, again, hugely influenced by old martial art flicks like your Jackie Chan's and stuff. So when they would punch, you'd hear like the sword chopping sounds. When someone would do a spin kick, you'd hear like whoosh. So yeah, those are definitely outdated things from old martial art flicks, but from what we have heard in the small trailer we've seen, it looks like they've improved that. So I don't need to touch on the graphics or the sound effects because clearly all of them have been improved. And these guys know what they're doing, as you can tell from the Yakuza games, so yeah, we don't need to cover that. Now into the stuff I want to cover. Now, one of the main things this new Virtua Fighter will need is and you already know what I'm gonna say, a story mode. And already you're gonna get these cringe statements about no one gives a shit about story in a fighting game and no one plays Virtua Fighter for a story. Got you. Here's the thing. This game hasn't been out in 18 years. You are now releasing a new game to appeal to a new audience. Do you not think the audience would want to know what the game's about and what these characters are about? And more importantly, the original Virtua Fighter was released in the 90s. Yes, around those times no one gave a shit about a story. Now, you're damn right they care about a story. They want to be interested in the characters they're playing. They want to relate to them. So yes, this game is in dire need of a story. Again, a lot of people don't have no idea who Wolf is, who Jeffrey is, who Jackie is. How are they gonna know who they are if you present no story? And if you listen to the complaints people had about Virtua Fighter over the years, is that most people were saying like, oh, the characters were bland and boring. And they're saying that because they don't know the stories of the characters because it was never presented. The only way you're gonna find this is if you read a freaking manual. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. I know their stories because I digged up the manuals. I even watched the freaking anime, but ain't everyone got time for that shit. So you need to present a story. Now, do I think the new Virtua Fighter needs to go down the road of a 2 to 3 hour full cinematics campaign? Actually, I don't think they need to do that. I think they can actually keep it basic and simple and tell a decent story. Virtua Fighter was never lore heavy, so it doesn't need to try and be Mortal Kombat or Tekken. And if you look at the Mortal Kombat Chaos Reign story, that was actually a flop. If you look at the Tekken's Forgotten Echoes, that was shit. So just producing a 2 to 3 hour cinematic story doesn't automatically mean it's gonna be good or successful. And in the case of Virtua Fighter, I would much rather them not blow their budget on a 2 to 3 hour story campaign when they can put that into other areas of the game that would need it more. Honestly, I think they should go with the arcade formula rather than the chapter system. Like what you've seen in like Street Fighter 4. Let me give you an example. Let's try Jeffrey. You start the game, you click on Jeffrey. Now, instead of going straight into the fight, you get a 1-minute prologue telling you who these characters are. So telling you that Jeffrey's a fisherman. He's been after this shark his whole life. He's been saving up to get a boat to kill him. Introducing you to the character. You then start the match, play through all the characters, beat the last boss, then you get a cut scene. Keyword, cut scene, not no text, not a picture. We have waited an eternity to see endings in Virtua Fighter, so all you can do is just a 1-minute clip cutscene at the end. And as far as Jeffrey goes, what you could do here is show him at sea fighting the devil shark in a cutscene for like 1 minute. And you can have him defeat the devil shark and finish his story. That's it. It doesn't need to be some over-the-top shit. Again, I'll give you another example. Tekken 4, King. A prologue telling you that King's master died, he wanted revenge. You complete the game and you get a cutscene ending, showing King going into the hospital ready to finish off Craig, but his conscience wouldn't let him and he left. That right there wasn't even like 30 seconds. King didn't even say a word, and that was one of the best endings in Tekken till this day. You definitely can tell an effective story with a 1-minute prologue and a 1-minute cutscene. And one of the advantages these guys have, these writers have, is it's almost like a blank slate. There's barely anything to mess up. Ain't nobody gonna come out and say, oh, you ruined Jeffrey's story, you ruined Wolf's story. What? There was barely any story to begin with. And for the few people who actually know the story, they would know that it was just basic. It was never anything great. Someone like a L Blaze, his story is that he just doesn't like heavyweights and he's jealous of them and he wants to defeat Wolf. Someone like a Brad Burns entered the tournament to fight strong opponents and meet beautiful women. Jeffrey's entire story from Virtua Fighter 1 up to 5, this is years. Is him being a fisherman, trying to get a boat to catch the devil shark, to kill the devil shark, the entire time. Entering the tournament to get money to buy the boat to kill the devil shark, that's it. You can't mess that up. All you can do is improve on that, and from what we've seen from this Yakuza team, they're good at storytelling. So this story might actually be very good. This actually might be one to watch for, and because we haven't seen these characters in ages, this is going to be even more hype. So yes, that is definitely something to look forward to. As I'm saying, they can only go up. That's the way I see it. And let me repeat, and if they can actually produce a full cinematic without blowing their budget, by all means, you know, I'm down for that. But I'm saying right here, at minimum, all characters need a 1-minute prologue and a cutscene ending. That is vital. And another thing you should definitely include to bring out the characters' personalities and show their relationships is special character intros. So for example, Lao Chan should have a special intro with Pai Chan, Jackie with Sarah or Stella, whoever's got relationships, make them have special intros. Now we spoke about sound and the sound effects, and that they've already improved that from what we've heard. Another thing you need to improve is the voice acting and dialogue. And again, if this is a reboot, it's a given they're gonna recast the characters, and so they should. All of them need recasting. That 90s dialogue is out of date. And listen, Wolf is my guy and all, but as a wrestler, he needs to work on his mic skills, man. The shit this dude was saying, no one talks like that. L Blaze, cool character, but his voice doesn't even match him. And Leon probably had the most corniest dialogue in the entire game. Listen, all of them need new dialogue, updated. But what you can actually do for nostalgia is keep the old dialogue there and have it as unlockables. You know, it worked. In fact, I think they were already doing that, where you'd hold down one button at the end of the match to get a certain old winning quote or pose. So yeah, keep them in, but yeah, give every single character brand new dialogue. For Wolf, maybe lean more into his wrestling promo skills. Hell, even someone like Leon, he's French, right? Have him have a French accent and talk his shit. Again, it will show more of their personality and give them more swagger. Because again, in 2024, ain't no one calling no one a knucklehead. Ain't no one saying better run home to mama now. Mama jokes are a thing of the past. Update everyone's dialogue. New dialogue for all the characters. New characters, of course, this is a given. And again, the Virtua Fighter roster has never been huge, so at least 3 or 4 new characters would be welcomed. Every Virtua Fighter player would want new characters, and of course they should come with new fighting styles that they have not yet used. You can even go for rare shit like the Snake Fist Scorpion style. Does anyone know the Scorpion style? Rare as hell. Obviously you ain't got capoeira, boxing, hell you can do some kind of hybrid of mixed martial arts. Anything. This is something I touched on in the video 6 years ago. Virtua Fighter needs a new villain. Juro, you've done your thing, but it's time to hang it up. This character has been the boss in this game since Virtua Fighter 1. It's time to hang it up, Juro. You did your thing. We need a new boss with more of a presence, more involved, a new threat, okay? And what you actually could do with Durell is actually have her in-game this time, but as herself before she got turned into Durell. Of course, she's Kage's mom, so that could be interesting. that's just me.
Forgot to train, eh?
Guess characters, and this is where everyone loses their shit. Some people like them, some people don't, and here are the 2 reasons why. Guest characters are a problem for some people. 1, they don't want a guest character taking the position of the character they want, of their main. 2, does the guest character fit in with the game? Does he break the game? Those are the 2 issues. Now in the case of a Virtua Fighter, it shouldn't apply that much. In the case of a Mortal Kombat and Tekken, the reason that is because they have a huge roster. How many characters have they got? So most of them characters aren't going to make it in the game. With Virtua Fighter, they've got like 19 characters. Dural makes 20. You barely got enough characters on the roster. So by season 2, you should have your character if they're going to leave out a couple. And honestly, the character most likely to get cut would probably be Taka. He was the most problematic. Again, this guy plays his own game. Taka's in his own world in Virtua Fighter. What a unique character. They might cut Eileen or maybe just save them for later seasons, but the regular, everyone from Virtua Fighter 1 should show up, I should think. But yeah, who do I think the guest characters should be? Obviously, you're gonna put in some of the Yakuza characters. That's obvious. They're making the game, so yeah. Who would I put? A lot of names are getting thrown around, but honestly, I think Sega should keep it in-house. And in that I mean, Sega have enough talent on their own roster where they don't need to go grab someone from a different game. Look at Sega's roster. You can pull people from Streets of Rage. Maybe Axel Stone. I know he would definitely sell. Fighting Vipers. Hell, Eternal Champions. Apparently there's a movie in the workings, so you could drop a character from there when the movie is releasing. Larson is probably your best pick. Shenmue characters, Ryo. Listen, you have a tonload of characters on your own roster. You can easily choose one of them. Essentially, you can just take the Fighters Megamix path. Of course, that was a game on the Sega Saturn, probably the best fighting game on there. It was basically a who's who of Sega in one fighting game. Single player content. Now this is vital because not everyone wants to try and be the best. Not everyone wants to go online and get washed and have sweaty matches with pros. Okay? Some people just want to pick up the game and have fun. Now, of course, in Virtua Fighter 4 they had the quest mode that was cool, but in 2024 you're gonna need a little bit more than that to keep everyone's attention. Now immediately you might say just have a mini Yakuza game, right? Or even rip off Street Fighter World Tour. What if I told you they did that already back in Virtual Quest? Anyone remember this game? Guess what you were doing in it? You were running around in a world bumping into the Virtual Fighter characters and they trained you. Essentially they were your masters. Yeah. So Virtua Fighter doesn't need to rip off World Tour. They need to do what they already did. They done that already. Hell, you can maybe make us use the new characters to do this or create a character. Doesn't matter. Honestly, a simple mini open world game where you're running around learning from all the Virtua Fighter characters would be fine. A unique final attack. So someone like Wolf does a Daron spinning pile driver where he goes to the sky and comes crashing down, breaks the arena. Akira palm smacks you so hard you tear through the walls. Just messing with you. VF fans were having a heart attack right now. Nah, none of that. What I meant to say was a signature attack. So each character has this attack and all this move does is a well-animated move that shows off their abilities, shows off their fighting style. And you might say we don't want any of those, but they're already in the game. The only problem is most of these moves, these sick-looking moves, are at the wall. And you rarely get to see them because it's not every time you have a match you're gonna get a wall grab. And these are the best looking grabs in the game. In fact, I'll go through all of them in a different video, but I think characters need more moves like this. In the open, in the neutral. No point you having all these sick animated grabs and we hardly see them. Again, a lot of people complain that, oh, Virtua Fighter looks boring, this and that. I am sorry, these animations I'm showing right now do not look boring. Each character needs one of these. And when you do it, give us multiple angles. That's it. It will just make the game look better. The music has never been a problem in Virtua Fighter, and of course every game normally comes with a jukebox, allows you to choose the tracks from other games, so I'm definitely not worried about that. Of course the new game's gonna come with its own tracks, but if you can swap them out, there's no problem. You don't have to worry about customizations because Virtua Fighter always comes hard with that, so that's down. Obviously they have good training, especially like Virtua Fighter 4 tutorials. You might want to bring those back. Obviously have good online training. Obviously stuff like rollback, crossplay, the standard shit. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Those were my thoughts. People tell me, what do you think are the 3 main things the new Virtua Fighter needs to be successful?